This week's parasha is Tzav, command, Aharon and his sons. It is also Shabbat Zachor, the Shabbat immediately preceding Purim, and there is a special Haftorah from the book of Samuel. Briefly, the narrative of this Haftorah is as follows. Samuel orders Saul to annihilate the Amalekites. Saul does so, but spares Agag, the leader of the Amalekites. Samuel is furious at Saul, and so he executes Agag. The narrative raises some issues. Why did Saul spare Agag? And why did Samuel take it upon himself to execute Agag? Perhaps a work of art may provide insight into these questions. The Encyclopedia Judaica shows this 13th century Jewish illustration of Samuel executing Agag. For comparison, here are 3 other illustrations of Samuel executing Agag, each showing a different interpretation of this biblical event. This etching is grotesque, but accurate, according to some translations. Armed with a butcher's cleaver, Samuel hacks Agag into pieces. Here is the King James Version translation of verse 33. And Samuel hewed Agag into pieces before the Lord in Gilgal. We see Saul here, and he seems to view the execution without emotion. In this painting, Agag begs for mercy even as he realizes death is near. Saul turns away for whatever reason. He does not want to view the execution. In this engraving by Gustave Doré, the soldiers clamor for the death of Agag. Saul is nowhere to be seen. Young and handsome, Agag begs for mercy. Samuel considers, but we know that he will deliver justice. If we go back to the 13th century Hebrew illuminated manuscript, we see that here Samuel executes swift justice. No butchery is indicated, and there is no public spectacle of this execution. There is only Samuel and Agag. The brutal hewing in pieces shown in some illustrations is a questionable translation of the Hebrew shasef, which is a hapax legomenon, which means that it occurs only once in the Bible, and so we cannot be certain of its meaning. The New Jewish Publication Society translates it as, and Samuel cut Agag down. Not that he hacked him into pieces, he cut Agag down. Another issue. All 3 illustrations show the execution in public. Here we see the army clamoring for the execution of Agag. The Jewish illustration, however, shows only 2 figures, Agag and Samuel. The Hebrew words before Hashem, Lifnei Hashem, may indicate that the execution was not done in public. In summary, the Jewish illustration shows that Samuel cuts Agag down. He does not chop him into pieces like a butcher. And the execution is not a public spectacle. We see only Agag and Samuel. But why did Saul spare Agag? We don't know for sure. Perhaps it was a misplaced sense of mercy, or perhaps he wanted personal glory that comes from showing off Agag in a triumphal procession. In either case, this would show poor judgment. Samuel, by executing Agag, justifiably deprived Saul of this merit. Thank you for your interest. Shabbat Shalom and Hag Purim Sameach.